Hey, doing an audio test. Audio test. Can you guys hear me? Testing, testing. Just type in the chat, guys, if you can hear me. Just trying to get the mic up and running. Okay, I might have to get right in between it. All right. All right, guys. Well, I guess no one heard what I was saying before, so I'll repeat it. But just before I start, how was the volume, guys? Can everybody hear me? Just want to make sure that I'm heard before I get started on this again. Is the volume good? Okay, cool. All right, guys. Like I was saying before, we're here because of what happened last night. The tragic active shooter mass killing situation that happened at the Sam Circle Walmart. Many of the people that I hang out with, I'm gonna put this over here, guys. Many of the people that I know and hang out with, including many members of my own company, frequent this Walmart. We go there all the time. A lot of my friends work in the surrounding areas at the restaurants and other stores surrounding it. So the Sam Circle Walmart's a fixture of Hampton Roads. And unfortunately, this is the second mass shooting, local Hampton Roads mass shooting that we've had to talk about on this channel. The first one being the Virginia Beach one, the Virginia Beach courthouse, which also affected many of my friends, many of which who used to and at the time worked in that very department. So it is extremely sad to see this happening again, and to see our community suffering from it. I'm still trying to figure out what to say about it because I was at that Walmart not that long ago, and I'm sure many of you guys who were watching who live in the Hampton Roads area probably feel exactly the same. That it's just shocking. Um, there's a lot of I am going to talk about what happened from what I know, but I am not going to mention the shooter by name. I don't think we should be doing that. If you want to do more research on the perpetrator, you can do that. Just Google search it. But from what we know, at least 6 people are dead from what happened last night. It happened around 10:15, I think, and it was a member of the management staff of Walmart, and he went into a break room filled with people and opened fired on his own colleagues with a handgun, from what I'm reading. Um, killed a few people in that room, and then went out to a grocery aisle and shot more people, and injured and killed some people there. And then I think there was a fatality outside of the building as well, and then subsequently shot themselves. And the police response was extremely quick. The police station, if you guys know that area, the Sam Circle area, the police station is right down the street. It's like not far at all. And so the police response was like 2 minutes after the first call, which is way better than the typical 5 to 10 minutes that you get from law enforcement calls. Guys, it still wasn't quick enough. Within 2 minutes, the shooting situation, the actual event itself had already stopped. And I believe by the time that they had arrived, it probably caused the shooter to stop what they were doing and, of course, subsequently shoot themselves. I'm glad you didn't go last night. I'm really glad because it was just a bad night for that Walmart. And some of the videos I've watched this morning, we don't really know the motive of the shooter just yet, but we do know that many of the employees identified him right away. They were out in the parking lot talking about it, and they talked about the fact that they knew exactly who it was, and they saw the people that he killed. There was a janitor named Brian, a young guy, and a brand new girl that started there not that long ago, who also was shot. I don't know of the others that were shot. There were some customers apparently that were shot as well, and there were a lot of people that were injured aside from the people that passed away. And we, of course, as a company, and me personally, extend our deepest sympathies and condolences to the families and friends of all those affected, because this is our community. This is not something that happened in states away that we hear about on the news. This is the Hampton Roads community, and seeing what the last mass shooting did to our community in Virginia Beach, it was devastating, guys. It was truly sad. Um, and it came out of nowhere. The guy that did it was very weird and very odd, but it really wasn't predictable, you know. But from what we're seeing with the information coming out about this guy, it does seem that there were complaints made against him by other employees, and that his behavior was very odd. We don't know what that is yet, because I'm sure the police report for that hasn't come out yet. And this is, of course, all ongoing, guys. This could change. We could the death toll could go down or up. You know, the information could change because they're still investigating it. We don't have a clear motive, but there are some people that are stating, based on what complaints were made against him in the past, that he could have planned this, that this was something he wanted to do, and it wasn't just him snapping. Some people said it was just him snapping because of stress or something. But typically, when someone does something like this, it's usually planned. It's almost always planned in some way. Maybe that is stress induced, or maybe that is something that they just wanted to do from the get go. Um, yeah, there's just been a lot of mass shootings happening in the last few days, and I don't know if that's because of the holidays or something. The UVA one that happened recently with the football team, really really tragic. And that's also within Virginia. We had the LGBTQ shooting in Colorado Springs, and we'll get to why that's so important in a second, because there is some parallel to what we're going to be talking about today. I've had a lot of people call me this morning about it because of what we do, because of, we train people for this, and a lot of people, this rightfully shakes them up. This rightfully makes them want to be more prepared, and it's just so easy to feel scared and angry and hurt because of all this. And that's how I feel right now, because again, that wasn't some random place that I've never been to. That's a Walmart that I've been to since I was, God, like 18. You know, the Mongolian barbecue place right down the street. Me and my friends, a Warriors Grill, we eat there all the time. And my best friends used to live down the street. Um, it's not removed from our reality, right? And it just kind of reinforces that this could happen anywhere. This could happen anywhere at any time, and it's a problem, right? It's a problem. Um, so yeah, just a little parallel from that, the Colorado Springs shooting that happened. There was an LGBTQ nightclub, and the guy walked in with a rifle and started killing people. He was stopped by a gentleman who was there with his family, and him and a drag queen and somebody else like took him to the ground and just started beating the shit out of him. And they were able to physically stop him from shooting anyone else. Um, President Biden called him and congratulated him and thanked him for his heroism. But it's my prerogative to study this stuff, guys. Like, the active shooter stuff, because that's what I do. I teach that stuff. The only thing that ever stops an active killer is someone within the building. It's almost never law enforcement. Um, it's almost never an outside source. It's just because of time. Law enforcement can't be every single place at every single minute and every single second. And even though Chesapeake PD and SWAT are literally down the street from this Walmart, within 2 minutes, they arrived 2 minutes after the first call, and the shooting was already done. The 6 people were already hit, and that was it. That was it. It happens so fast, and the amount of time it takes to actually react to something like that, it's such a small window. And so I say all that, and I know it's not going to be popular right now. I don't care, because I'd rather speak reality and truth. Reality and truth is more important to me. If you are a person that conceal carries, you carry a firearm on you, you need to carry all the time. You need to carry when you're out. And I'm guilty of this too, where I decide, hey, I'm too lazy. I don't want to carry. And not only that, carrying is like 1/4 of the solution. You need to train. And I don't care where you train. You don't have to train with us. You can train anywhere, but you should be training, because if you're carrying a firearm, you're going to be there. You're going to be on site and self-rescuing faster than any first responder is ever going to be able to react in time. You have to train, learn how to do medical stuff, take a tac med class, learn how to patch up bullet wounds, because you stopping someone's bleeding, even in a car accident or something, but let alone something like this, like an active shooter. And it sucks. It sucks. We have to keep talking about this, and we have to, it's a part of being an American now to prepare for this bullshit. But evil has always been here. And for some reason, it's just manifesting a lot in this way. It's just manifesting a lot in the form of active shooter and active killer situations. And there is a bigger piece of the puzzle that we have to discuss to figure out why that is. I have my own theories, and it's being studied right now. But it's happening, and it's happening a lot. You can say it's access to firearms, you can say it's mental health, but I also believe that there are just certain people in the world that are evil. And I know that that's also not a popular notion. Not every person that wants to kill another person is mentally ill. Some people just want to hurt and break other human beings. And deciding which one is which, that's tough. That's a professional's job. But you have to be prepared. You have to learn situational awareness. You have to look at your exits and figure out how you're going to get out of a place. It's just what people should be doing, no matter what the state our country is in right now. But we don't really take this stuff seriously until tragedy strikes. And it's not any one person's responsibility to save any one person. I'm not putting that burden on anyone. You decide what you want to do with your life and the lives of your family and your friends. But no one should feel helpless to a predator like that. And I feel so bad for everyone that was stuck in that break room, everyone that was stuck in that store, and just didn't know what to do, froze in fear, and were subsequently injured or killed for it. Um, Cody, I didn't know you were there last night. I hope you're okay. Um, it was just an absolute shit show, and it's just terrible what happened to everybody there in Chesapeake. I don't really know what to say about it. It's horrible. I'm going to be following it closely, guys. But again, I recommend that you take the time to heal from this, because again, if you a lot of the people in this chat are local to Hampton Roads. Many of the people that are going to watch this work for my company. This is a wake up call to remember that it can happen anywhere. That evil, mental illness, that whatever can strike at any moment. And it doesn't behoove anybody to be paranoid about it, but knowing what to do and having a plan of action is one of the only ways you'll probably be able to save yourself. Knowing where to run, knowing what to listen out for, how to look, listen, smell, all that stuff, and helping your fellow man, being able to tie down a tourniquet on somebody, or find an improvised tourniquet, put a chest seal on somebody. It's just really important stuff. And if you are one of those people that is so inclined to fight back, not everybody's built like that, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're one of those people willing to take up arms, like we've seen in so many situations, like the Colorado Springs and the different mass shootings where we've seen people stand up and actually fight back, the shooting ends way sooner when there is a roadblock put in the way. When there is resistance, and that person, that coward, realizes that they can't have the chickens in a barrel to shoot anymore, turkeys in a barrel, whatever you want to call it, that now there is something that's going to stop them. They're usually extremely weak-willed and not willing to put up a fight with that person, even if it's just physical, even if the person is grabbing on them. Now, granted, you're putting yourself at great risk by doing that, but we've seen just statistically that as soon as somebody puts up effective resistance, it usually causes the shooter to isolate themselves and then usually shoot themselves. and it comes in the form of either law enforcement surrounding the building, which takes forever, guys. It takes forever for cops to get there, and actually assess and actually figure out where to make entry. They have to figure out where the best place to go in to be most effective, so the guy doesn't just walk out the back door. They have to surround the building first and then make entry. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time that that guy is just going in there and blasting away. So the only real people that stand a chance of fighting back effectively are the people that are being victimized. I mean, fighting back with whatever you have, preferably you have, yeah, exactly. I like as soon as there's spotted resistance, it's over. These are not usually well trained, strong willed people. These are usually already broken people that are angry, that have one thing on their mind, and discovering that there's hard resistance is usually a way that they hide into they go into a room and hide, and then they end it because they did what they came there to do. And again, we look at the Colorado Springs incident. He didn't even encounter an armed patron. He was taken down, and he was not prepared to physically fight them off. And he got the crap kicked out of him by people who were just not going to have it. And that was that, guys. I know that gunfire, everything is very scary, and I'm not saying that you have no right to be scared of that. You should just run towards it. That's not what I'm saying. But we are seeing that other people are fighting through that fight or flight and going towards the assailant because they know it's the only way that they'll survive, because you can either choose to die cowering in a corner somewhere, or you can take the chance that you'll luckily grab the barrel of that gun, or you'll luckily, grab his leg and take him to the ground, even if you don't really know what you're doing. But he now has to fight with you. He's not able to actually shoot anybody else. He has to stop and deal with that person. So if you have a firearm, a concealed carry permit, if you train with your firearm, that's now bringing the exact fear that he brought to the store. You're bringing it to him. No one likes to be shot at. No one is not afraid of being shot, including the gunman, no matter how suicidal or homicidal he is. So good training, the only way to put up good resistance is to be trained and to have a plan, and to also be legally in compliance to be able to even own weapons, right? To be able to carry weapons. But I don't know, guys. I know I'm talking a lot about like what you should do, but honestly, in that situation, it's just scary, especially if you're there with your people you love and your families. It's terrifying. I just again want to express my condolences, my sympathy, and whatever else, thoughts, prayers, everything, to our community, because we're going to be hearing about this a lot. It's just a horrible situation. Um, I don't know. I'm just looking through more of the information right now. Another thing, guys, is they had a video of him before the shooting, and he looked normal. He was with his employees, and he was jovial. He's a younger guy. He's not old, and he was just playing around with his fellow employees. He wasn't angry. He wasn't sullen. He wasn't like isolated in a room somewhere. He was joking around with them, and he flipped in a moment, and that was either due to a traumatic event that happened as the straw that broke the camel's back, or it was a nefarious plot. It was something that he planned and executed based on his plans. You know, so I don't know why this is looking like that. There we go. But either way, it just goes to show you never know. You never know who's going to do it, and you really do need to pay attention. You really do need to pay attention to certain cues. If you hear someone joking about something like that too much, or saying something that just seems like, that wasn't a joke. That guy sounds like he's really mad about something, or he's really interested in doing this. Take it seriously. Either talk to them or report it. It's a serious thing, and being able to prevent something like this before it ever happens is really important. Not saying that everybody that has isolative behavior is going to be doing something like this, but people that are enamored with violence and talk about it, people that are antisocial and enamored with violence, is a good tell that there's something wrong with this person. And some people, yeah, Sammy, there are a lot of people that are struggling. There are a lot of people that are struggling with it. There are little pockets of the internet that we never hear about, like that talk about this all the time, that have people that love this stuff, that talk about wanting to do this, and they immortalize the people that do it because they're angry at society, because they're angry. Honestly, from what we've studied professionally, it's from people just being very dissatisfied with their own lives, very dissatisfied with whether it's a young man who's unable to find a girlfriend, um, and unable to come to terms with the fact that it's them and not society. Some people that are just very unhappy with where they are in life in general, and are unable to take responsibility for it. They're going to take it out on the rest of society. That's a big one too. There are also just very evil people out there. Like, and again, not a popular notion, but until you've met someone, which I have, I've come face to face with people that's just what they like. They enjoy the thought of breaking other people. They enjoy the thought of the power that they get from hurting other human beings, and they often fantasize about it. There are people that exist. They're not mentally ill. This is just what they want, and they exist. They walk among us, and they, unless you're friends with them and they talk about it with you, you would never know. Yeah, that's true. That's true. We're starting to kind of pinpoint where a lot of these individuals come from. Again, from mostly internet sources, like where they hang out online, where they feel they're not being monitored. Um, that's a good point, Aya. Though, like, it's just really sad. It's just really sad. And I mean, tell me if you guys have any more comments on this. Please put it in the chat. I'd love to spotlight it and talk more and have a discussion on it, because this is, I think, the channel's first real live stream on something like this, and I don't know. I want it to be impactful. I want people to see it. It's just, I don't know. I'm just looking through more stuff on this. Let me take a look. Let's see what I can find. Hmm. Yeah, I'm not really going to talk about the gun rights stuff right now. I don't think it's the right time for that. I'll do it when, inevitably people start talking about it. But I know that around this time, around the holidays, people get severely depressed. Seasonal depression, holiday depression, especially if they're alone, that increases. But I've never seen a correlation of violence because of that. We've seen a lot of suicides and things like that happen because of seasonal depression. But um, it's uh, it's just wild that this happened. It's crazy. Like, that it was, again, somebody who worked for the company. Uh, Typically on supermarkets, on the supermarket active shooter stuff, we've seen that it was an outsider source. I think the last three supermarket mass shootings were race based. They were done by like incel white supremacist type guys, from, again, tracked online to certain groups, and they were definitely, I know that for sure the very last one was race based, because the shooter spared one of the gentlemen that was behind the counter, and he actually apologized, and he kept shooting other people. So it was just, it's horrible stuff. Um, and we still do not know what the motivation of this guy is. And yeah, I agree. Gun rights are not a demographic thing. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter what race you are, orientation. They are a human right. So my LGBT friends, I tell them all the time, um, it's really hard. It's really hard to victimize anyone when they have a legally owned firearm on them and when they're well trained. And I've been encouraging more of my LGBT friends to come out and train, wherever. Again, I don't really care if it's through us. I would like you guys to come through me because I know we do good work, but there's lots of training companies in the area. Owning the gun is not enough. Owning a weapon is not enough. It doesn't make you that much more effective. You need training with it. But yeah, you know what, Sammy? Maybe that's what it is. Is the first real season of crowds coming back out, and again, you have a mix of people that have been isolated for such a long time, and now they're coming into contact with other people with social nuance and the stress, like the anxiety of being around people when you haven't been around people for a while, and maybe that's getting the people. I don't know, but even though we've had isolation and lockdown and all that stuff for the last like few years, we have still seen mass shootings. We've seen different mass shootings happening over the last 2 years. So it hasn't stopped anybody. Maybe it's even increased it. I'm not sure. But I know that isolating yourself from people typically doesn't make you more empathetic, doesn't make you connect with people better. Um, I don't know. I would like to say that maybe you just should not go to Walmart, but Walmart has everything, so people are going to go there no matter what. Let me get this blinds down real quick. It's just hold on. Pardon me, guys. Let me get this down. Might help a little bit with this blinding light. That's a little light. Okay. No, it's still doing it. Just have to hold this here. Yeah, the sun's coming out, blinding me. Yeah, I'm looking at more information as it comes out now. Yeah, listening to the video of the employees talk about it was heartbreaking. I was listening to it this morning, and the fact that one of them was in the break room, or at least I think he said he was leaving the break room, and then there was a woman that was in there and talked about one of the new hires being shot. And then they all knew who Brian was, which is the custodian. And they just talked about, like, they couldn't believe that he, of all the people that were shot. So it's just really sad. Turn the camera. Let's try that. Okay. Well, for now, the sun's out of our eyes. So, yeah, I'm just reading more on it right now. Yeah, they said that it was extremely busy that night. Said a lot of people were there right before the shooting happened. Let's see. Only 6 people have been confirmed. And again, guys, if you know anybody that lives in that area, I'm sure most people know by now if they had a loved one that was there or not. But check on your friends and check on your people. Oh, the other way. Okay, so like that, maybe. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, a little better. All right. I just have to move this thing over here. Oh, man. Okay. What a mess. But I definitely recommend everybody getting their concealed carry permit and getting some training or something. Getting training in something. Whether that could even be just medical training. It doesn't matter. I think it's just a good skill to have. Let's see. Just reading up more on the information because there's new stuff coming out like every minute. That's good. I'm glad that you're trying to get people more prepared. I mean, again, doesn't matter really what kind. One class of any kind will usually get you started on the rest. But the people that don't want to do that, the people that think that they shouldn't have to or that they don't need it, those are the people that are going to be the most at the mercy of people like this, unfortunately. And again, it's just illustrating the police cannot protect you. Like, it's just impossible. It's not enough of them. There's not enough of them. They can't be at every place at every single time. And when six to 10 people can be killed in 2 minutes, and it takes cops on average it's 5 to 8 minutes at a good response time, and even then it was a 2 minute response time, which is phenomenal. It's because they're so close by. It still wasn't quick enough. Injury and death and attacks happen in the instant. It happens in a moment, and I know that personally because of just what I do for a living. The police are going to report on what happened. They're not going to protect you from what happened. You have to be the self responder. You have to be the self, or I'm sorry, you have to be the first responder. You have to be the self rescuer. And it just sucks that we have to do that. You know, I think we all kind of live in a bubble where we feel that we are entitled to safety, but it's an illusion. We human beings have never been safe. It's just we've made things safer than they used to be, and now we have an epidemic of people who want to kill other people for some reason. I'm just, I mean, rightfully so. I think we should be scared. I mean, we shouldn't be living in paranoia. I would love to live in a place where we could preserve our rights, but also live in a place where we don't have this happening ever. But there's something going on that's causing this. There is, I mean, it's like a sickness. It's an epidemic. It's a social sickness. See one more over. Okay. And by far, we don't live in like the worst place ever. Like I know that we are pumped information about mass shootings all the time by the news, when we still don't rank extremely high in the world statistic. But this was not happening as frequently even 10 years ago, especially not 20 years ago. It's wild. Let's see what is. Yeah, there was a 20-year-old employee who was shot just 10 minutes after signing on for work. She just signed on and got shot. I don't know if she was a fatality or not, but yeah, it doesn't look like any more information has been put out there, guys. I guess I'll cut it here, but I appreciate every single person that came and listened and joined in on this with me. It's difficult to talk about because it's what we do. We talk about it for work, but actually talking about it, something that happened here, something that happened in our home, in our community, just like it did at UVA for you, Sammy, and for in the Colorado Springs one. I'm sure they're still going to be talking about it. Um, it's just it's just horrible. It's just horrible. So, for all those out there that are listening, I'm going to give you one last encouragement to seek training and to get a firearm. For not only just this is not a common thing. It's not for that. It's just because you have a right to you have a human right to self protection, and a firearm is the great equalizer. It requires you to take minimal training. You should get training no matter what. Minimal training. You don't have to be huge. You don't have to be muscular. You can be anybody, but you have a right to be safe. You have a right to not be assaulted. You have a right to not be killed by anyone. And it's your best bet to be able to self-rescue. So seek training, because the tool without training is useless. And be vigilant, guys. Just pay attention. Pay attention to the people around you. Pay attention to your surroundings, especially. Look for exits, and just look out for one another. Be good humans. Be good people to each other. And like Sammy said in the chat, hug your friends and your family, because you have no idea if they're going to be there tomorrow. You have no idea if they're going to be there hours from now. So that's all I got for you guys today. Talk to you soon, and thanks for joining me for this this sad live stream. So talk to you soon.